Sir, would you please state your name and spell it for the court reporter's benefit?
It's John Howe, John-Howe.
Mr. Howe, where do you live?
Lakehead, California.
And what do you do?
I was the former owner of John Howe Trucking, and I'm also the director of the Northern California Independent Log Truck Owners Association.
Now, you said you were the former owner. Tell us about that, would you?
Well, CARB had come up with a regulation that forced any independent contractor to have a CARB emissions certificate to be able to subcontract with logging companies, brokerages. And as of July of this year, or July of last year, excuse me, I couldn't register my vehicles because they were pre-80s. When you go online to register your vehicles, they said my VIN numbers were invalid because they weren't 14 characters, and they would not issue me a certificate stating that the equipment did not exist.
The equipment that you were driving did not exist?
Well, it existed in 1962 when my grandfather bought it, and in 1979 when my father bought it.
And what was it, sir?
Kenworth logging truck and a Peterbilt logging truck.
How many miles did it have on it at that time?
Approximately 7 million.
How many more miles did you expect to get off of it?
I could have got easily another 20 years, 1 million miles out of it.
Okay. When you found out that it didn't exist, what did you do?
Well, I called the 800 number, talked to some snobbish person on the phone who told me that their computer did not lie. These vehicles didn't exist. I informed them to go check with DMV because I had to pay licensing on them.
And did you have to pay for that license from DMV?
Yes, $2,000 a year.
And they had not acknowledged that your truck didn't exist.
Yeah.
All right. Did you make any attempt financially to find a way to stay in business?
Yes, I checked into the replacement grant that they were offering, which was they give you $60,000 on your what they call non-compliant equipment. And when I asked him, I says, okay, that covers $60,000, but if you go to buy a log truck from Peterbilt or Kenworth, you're looking at $140,000. So you got $84,000 worth of balance there. I didn't have credit to qualify for a loan.
And so, and what was their response to that?
There was none. It was just like, it was like shrug of the shoulders.
And I've made light of it, the fact that they told you it didn't exist. You were able to determine that the reason it didn't exist is because it was pre-1980.
Yeah, well, my trucks have 6-digit VIN numbers. And for their system to acknowledge your vehicle to be registerable has to have 14 characters.
And that was at CARB?
That was at CARB's official website, yes.
Even though the State Department of Motor Vehicles licensed you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not only that, the California Highway Patrol Motor Carrier Division issued my permits with those VIN numbers.
Okay. I think you indicated that your truck with the 7 million miles had a new motor in it.
Yes, I just put a new motor in 2010.
And what did that cost you?
$14,000.
And you think that truck, you knew your grandfather bought it?
I have photographic evidence at home where he hauled his 63 GMC pickup back on it from Roberts Motors in Portland.
And then your father bought it?
My father bought the Peterbilt from F.B. Hart Peterbilt here in Reading in '79.
Okay, and with that experience, you've had a lifetime of experience in trucking.
Yes, I've been in and around trucks since by the time I could talk.
And you firmly believe that with just regular repairs, that truck had another 20 years in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's people in the audience that actually knew I kept my equipment like it was new.
Okay. Since you closed down your business then, what date?
September 30th of 2014.
What have you done since then?
Odd jobs. I work 3 days a week for Jimmy Hedrick Logging as a fill-in truck driver.
Have you found it easy to get a job as a fill-in driver?
Since CARB has done their regulations, Wayne Bear Trucking, one of the largest log truck operations in Northern California, he closed down, and it's flooded 90 people into the market to where, it's not easy to get a job.
How about in the flatbed driving industry? Is there
Flatbed industry, if you go south of Willows, California, CARB, I don't know what you call them, representatives will give you a ticket at scales down there for being out of area. So no, you can't compete unless you have a compliant vehicle.
Is there any other economic impact that has occurred to you other than the loss, than your closing down of the business?
Yes, I lost my home. I had to turn back a pickup that I had half paid off.
And when you lost your home, you weren't able to make payments on it?
No, not able to make the payments I could have made while I was still working. Yes.
And was that through a bank?
Yes, that was through Tri-County's bank.
And they foreclosed?
In a way, I actually voluntarily gave it back to them.
Okay.
To save me a foreclosure on my record. Yes, I am married.
You're married? You have children?
Yes.
Tell us about the social impact on you and the family of...
I'm much more irritable now.
I can imagine.
And my wife doesn't like the fact that I'm home almost every day.
Are your children school age?
No, they're my youngest is 18.
Okay. So you're obviously having difficulty just making expenses to live a regular life, food, clothes, and so on.
Well, the sheriff that was speaking this morning about me and him are actually good friends. I was just over his house last week helping him repair his garage for grocery money.
Okay.
And I might add, as I stated, I'm director of the Independent Log Truck Owners Association. We had 60 members as of 9 months ago. Over 33 members have decided to quit being owner-operators and go find jobs elsewhere.
How many is that? 30?
30.
Out of how many?
60.
Okay.
Over half.
So over half. Before you, let's say in the last full year of operation that you had, what amount of revenue did you bring in?
Each truck made $250,000 a year.
Okay. So your having to go out of business cost me
$500,000 a year in gross revenue.
Okay. And I don't imagine that much of that money was used for anything but to contribute to the economy of the county you live in the city.
Yes, well, as in fact, me and Mike back here, the former owner of Clayton's Towing, I still owe an outstanding tow bill that I've been finding it really hard to pay because I have no revenue. It's creditors like him that I have lost reputations with from where 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I could have walked into any place in this area and just signed my name and walked out with whatever I needed to keep my business running. Now they look at me like I'm some kind of derelict because I'm unable to pay my bills.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 44.
Okay. Mr. Hearing Officer, I have no other questions. If the members of the board have any questions.
No, I'd just like to thank you, sir, for testifying today and sharing your story with us. Appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
And I would too. Thank you very much. I want you to know that this witness came forward totally voluntarily. I wasn't aware of him, as a matter of fact, until he heard about this. I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Hearing Officer, we would excuse the witness if you would.
You're excused, and thanks
Thank
from
you.
everybody.